Hello, we are here at IT Days, the 6th edition, and we are talking with Peter Leeson, who just got a nice presentation. Hi, Peter.
Hello, always nice to be back in Cluj.
Welcome. I think this is your second time at IT Days, right?
Second time at IT Days, yes.
Okay, great. You got a really good audience, a nice question at the end. So let's continue this. One of your slides was showing a general manager on the edge of a cliff, thinking what he should do next, and you talk about challenges and usual mistakes that persons in that position might do. Can you tell us more about this subject?
So the talk was about Dave Snowdens' Kinefin model, which breaks down situations into four categories. And the most dangerous spot for any business, which is what the cliff was showing, was when you are in what Kinefin calls the obvious status, and there is a risk of falling into the chaotic status because you're applying standard solutions to new problems, and you just keep on deploying the same solution as the problem gets more and more complex, don't understand it, and finally drop into chaos as everything collapses. And then it is very hard to get back to the top of the cliff. You've got to start sorting things out, moving from a chaotic environment, solving the basic issues, moving to a complex environment, and slowly moving your way back to something that works.
Okay, and what will be the solution here? What they should be aware of?
Oh goodness, you're asking.
Maybe it's too much. What should be aware? I mean, what should at least consider?
I spoke for an hour, and you want me to give you the 20-second version. It's basically adapting your response to the status you're in. Okay, so depending on whether there are obvious constraints or not obvious constraints, whether this is a repeatable problem or not, you need to react differently. And it can be hard to understand this. And it's just getting people to do the right level of analysis depending on where they are. And not just throw out what worked some other time for some different problem in a different company, and not just keep on changing and adapting models and standards, but working through the real problem for the company.
Sounds great. And the kinetic model was having four phases, right? Complicated, complex, obvious, and chaos. And I suppose you mentioned that.
And the fifth one, which is disorder.
Okay, and disorder. Good, thanks. And you mentioned that from time to time it's good for a company to be in the chaotic quadrant.
Yes. So the chaotic is where there are no rules, there's no cause and effect that can be discerned. And the best example is companies like Google, who have implemented a day where their developers can just do stuff. There's no clear explanation as to what they should do. Just go ahead and do what you want to, what you think is good. And that's where you identify some novel solutions to problems, things that you'd never considered before. So you go a little bit into chaos, but you want to come out very quickly.
I see, okay, great. And let's see, what do you think about the current state of management, as you can see, let's say, in a company, not necessarily the one in Cluj? What they should learn, in general, what they should be aware of?
Management in the IT industry remains, as far as I'm concerned, a major problem. We keep on promoting very good technicians to become bad managers. And it's not Cluj, it's everywhere. There is confusion between management and leadership. There are different roles. There are different understanding. the fact that you are, I will go so far as to say that the fact that you are a good engineer, a good technician, you will probably be a bad manager. I would like to promote the bad engineers to management roles, and I see no reason why a good engineer should not be earning more than the project manager, because it's a different role, it's a different job, and they shouldn't be confused. We in the software industry, we identify a good engineer, you're very good at writing Java code, let me promote you so you never write Java code again. You've just lost a skill, you've gained an incompetent manager, you've lost the know-how and the experience, and that's why every few years we reinvent things. So 35 years ago, I worked with something which was called the recursive life cycle, which was based on continuous risk management. Today we call that agile in sprints. Okay, it's the same thing, but it's got sexier name than it had then. And in a few years' time, we will have forgotten what agile is, and we'll invent something new which will replace the waterfall or something. We just keep on coming back and reinventing the same solutions with new names. And then we promote everyone and forget what it was.
Totally agree. Sounds great. Thanks, Peter. And how did you, sorry, what time are you now in Cluj? How many times have you been in Cluj? I think you are now a regular guest here.
I think I've been coming to Cluj for about 12 years. I'm regularly thinking maybe I should just find myself a house here. What I love in Cluj, which is very different from other places, is there's a very short number of years that IT has existed because of the whole communist past, which means there's a young, dynamic group of people. Everybody has worked in the other companies, was at university, everyone knows everyone. There's this continuous exchange. There is an eagerness to learn and to move forward, which I think is fantastic. The old people in Cluj are 35 years old. It's brilliant. I love working with all the young, dynamic people.
Yeah, I'm happy to say this. Yeah, and this is really true. And tell me, how did you feel for this edition at IT Days?
I have thought I wish there were more chairs. I want to sit down from time to time. It's good. It's good. I've attended some good talks. I've attended some talks where I couldn't understand anything because they're either technical talks and I don't understand, or they're in Romanian, and it's high time I started learning Romanian. But even the Romanian talks usually had the slides in English, so I could follow what people were talking about. So it's been really interesting.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.